Now you tell me if this is a setup or this is a game. I tell y'all, and look, that's why they put this joker over here across from me, man. Now he put his head down because he said he don't want no parts. He don't care about what I'm saying. But look here, man, and it's another way to sync with you. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my face to the right and see if he does what I do. Cause if you seeing what I'm seeing on the other side, you ain't got to where all that. You dead wrong. All right, so back to what I was saying. So this chick Sherry, right, for months now has led me on to believe that I was getting a voucher. Hence somebody coughing. And the spiritual on the other side, they was telling me not to even call this woman. Don't call her. Don't say nothing. Don't call this. This is not the number that you need. So me thinking like maybe I'm right, but this is somebody telling me this nonsense, and something in the spirit told me say no, call that number, find out what's going on, because something's not right. Now that's your true spirit and true God telling you when something is not right. Now here it is. We in October. I put in for this thing in June. I believe it was like June or whatever. Make a long story short. Nah, I'm gonna tell the story. Period. Take it how you want it. She signs me up. Tells me she gonna speak to a certain pastor. This pastor is supposed to help me out. Now, come to find out, which I already seen in the video before, this pastor is not as he seems. Especially when you're dealing with these ex-military types, they usually start doing some foul and start acting funny, like a superiority complex. They start going to a whole little routine that they didn't learn from the program they was programmed from to spin it back to you. Now, if I'm lying about something here, which I guarantee if somebody is using what I'm saying and they spewing it out their mouths in a different place, it's going to get them back. So I'm hoping for all sake that nobody's recording what I'm saying to display it somewhere else in a different way. If you understand what I mean. So there's one or two ways this can possibly go down. So, but mainly this this Joker decides to be funny with me and not help me like he said he was going to help me. And the woman who's supposed to be the overseer over all that facility that I was at wouldn't even contact me, have a conversation with me, wouldn't even see me. Period. She wouldn't even do nothing for me at all. This is the woman over here in Mesquite. So if y'all ever come out here in Mesquite and you have any issues, what is her name? I almost had her name just then, and somebody trying to move something around, throw me off. I almost had her name. It doesn't matter. So this woman, like I said, wouldn't even contact me back at all. Now, I had my things stolen from me out of my locker that was locked, that they provide. So this is me following y'all rules and y'all still being hypocritical like the police. Being hypocritical to your own game. You set the rules and then break the rules, saying that you're above what you say. You can do whatever you want. It don't matter what you say. It's like a slave master, right? Yolanda, that's her name, right? So Miss Yolanda wouldn't even speak to me or see me. So I already knew it was some tragic stuff, some ill will stuff going on there. So and when she signed off for banning me, I said, wow. And what they used to ban me was so harsh. I'm like, what? The crime don't even fit what you're trying to give me. That's like saying you're gonna give me, like when somebody goes before the judge and they get a manslaughter charge or something crazy, and the judge throws them an extra 100 years, adds an extra 20 to it, just to be nasty. I'm gonna give you an extra 20 years on top of the extra 500 I already gave you. That's craziness. That's being absurd. That's being wicked. I don't know what to tell you, but y'all supposed to be Christian based. Y'all supposed to be God based. It sound like y'all being the Pharisees. It sound like you being what's his name? Constantine Netero. That's what it sounds like. It's very despicable. Woe is me. But like I said, this woman apparently all of a sudden she just quits her job. You know what I mean? Listen, they did the same thing. Listen, check me out. Before they stole my clothes and did all the nonsense, because I started catching on to the game, and I was making sure I was on time, and I was at the places I needed to be, and they couldn't get me because I was still going to work out. I was still having my food. I was still going to interviews and taking care of my stuff. What happened? This one cat who kept trying to put my name on the list, who got me wrote up, he kept putting my name on the list, and then he would write my name all kind of crazy. You see how he's writing this? You can barely see it. That's how he wrote my name on one sheet one time. He wrote it at the very bottom, and he wrote it so weird that you can barely make it out. So I'm like, that's the reason why I didn't see it, because I'm like, I looked at this list, and I'm like, why didn't I see my name? And I re-looked at the list again. I'm like, wow. So he puts my name in a weird way. So small in a weird way to where I wouldn't pay attention to it. You see what I'm saying? But it's on some weird stuff too, because they doing some other, nonsense in the mix. But he wrote it down, right? Then he quits his job. Like several days later, he quits. After he gives his testimony, we was and this is when the preachers wasn't showing up. For some reason, all the preachers wasn't showing up. He gives his testimony, and then he just ups and quits. He said he used to be a junkie. He started talking about being smoking dope and all this stuff, and then he just ups and quits like that. He bunked out. Sherry does the same thing, and she don't say nothing. I've been emailing this woman several times. I'm talking about emailing, calling. Today's the first day they picked up the phone. Bunked out. It's crazy. Now, you tell me, is this not a reoccurring pattern? Didn't I tell you when I showed up at that good job I had, I was making like $18 an hour? This is before I hit the 22. I started rising up and God started really blessing me. But I'm like, yo. And this is when I was at the grunt part. When I was making a little bit at first, and then it elevated me. But the kid that was in there with me, he seen me come through, and like people was attracted to my light. Home just quit. He just didn't even show back up. He just said, I'm out. Then what happens? They put another cat, Orion. They put Orion on my shift from a different shift. Before we got cool, because they used to try to make him seem like he was real, tough body, hard body, mean ass. Like, don't talk to him. Don't look at me. I'm bald headed type guy. You know what I'm saying? Look real hard. Man, I'm like, bro, I ain't going for none of that shit, but whatever. I folded him up real quick. He became soft real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it in my hand. Like, bro, come on. But at the beginning, this cat leaves. Listen, I go on my lunch break. This cat leaves the area he's supposed to be checking. Nobody writes him up for it, though. They wrote me up, though. The machine breaks. So I'm thinking, because I would have made that argument, like, Where the hell was everybody else at when I was on break for them to know to turn the thing off? Because we running a 3 to a 4-man team, right? This is when I was a technician. I was a tech, tech, you know what I'm saying, operator. So I'm in the office, I'm in the lab. So he literally had to been playing around or just didn't go over there. Because if I have a 30 to a 20-minute break, you had to just say, I'm not going over there to turn that thing off on purpose. Or you didn't check it. Because everybody who's on that shift, or any shift that we do on that job, you're supposed to go back up there and check the machines, because there's certain times you have to go do your rounds and do samples. At certain times you got to do samples, and then, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you got to make yourself seem like you're busy. So I'm like, how is it that nobody's seen this within this time period? Nobody went over that. That's crazy. Because every time when I'm up there, motherfuckers, we almost be about to run into each other sometimes if we ain't doing other things. Like, because I be on high lows and I be driving forklifts and I be doing all kind of stuff. But I'm like, how is it that nobody, because, you know what I'm saying, like I said, we got cool later on. And I started peeping how they move. I'm like, bro, y'all did some shady shit. Y'all got me fired on purpose. You got me rolled up on purpose. And you did that on purpose. And then hit me with a story about, oh yeah, that one guy, you know, he set the whole place on fire. They did it to have something on me. And then follow up to that, show up late to work, right up. And then they didn't tell me that, I told you, you gotta pay attention to the fine print, because they will get you. It's almost like how an attorney gives you paperwork and stuff. You gotta look at everything, bro, because they'll have things in Latin and different languages that are worded differently. You have to pay attention, right? So, saying that to say this, when you're dealing with them situations, because they set up the contract with me far as I had a voucher to saying, like, excuse me, it's not a voucher, but it's like a voucher, a time spot where you can say, hey, I want to use this day, this free time I have extra, non-paid leave. You have paid leave, and then you have non-paid. It's a certain way they had it set up to where I could have used time. If I would have waited a little longer, I could have used my other time to where I wouldn't have got affected. But since I came to work on the actual time and showed up instead of waiting the extra 30 minutes to use my thing, that's how they got me. But they don't explain it to you like that, because if you don't have somebody explain it to you, you wouldn't know. You just like, all right, I thought I could use it. Trickery. And then you say you have to show up on time. But then somebody who had my laundry at the time purposely didn't open the door. Do you see how the game goes? Somebody purposely had my laundry. And I show up all the time there to get my laundry before I go to work. You don't answer the phone, you don't do nothing, you just. So you saying, oh, you should have had a backup clothesline. No. Somebody who knows they do my laundry all the time, who set up. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just showing you how the game goes.